Halo Infinite is finally here, and from what I can see, hope has been restored. Today at the Xbox and Bethesda E3 demo, we're given a campaign and multiplayer trailer for Halo Infinite. It showed us a lot of new things on both sides, and I can't wait to explore and theorize what these new additions could add to the game. Like and subscribe if you do enjoy. Comment down below your thoughts on the new stuff given to us today, and let's get into it. We begin the campaign trailer with Joe, the creative director for Halo Infinite, introducing us to the vast world that we're about to explore. It gives us some opening shots. There's a ton of little details that I'm not really going to go through, but it shows how big the scale of the game is. And how I touched about earlier, we need to keep focus while also using the open world format to expand the lore and the scope that Halo Infinite is going for. This is followed by a cutscene where Master Chief jumps into the empty space out of the Pelican that he was in the first trailer and begins to pass enemies and allies, corpses and all, as he makes his way to a bandit ship. We don't know exactly what he's doing, but he talks to the pilot along the way about how he will still complete his mission despite being alone and very outgunned and outnumbered. The scene I want to focus on is where Master Chief meets another AI known as the Weapon, but I'm just gonna call her Cortana too, because she's voiced by the exact same person and seems like a bootleg version almost. But the Weapon talks about how she was put here to capture Cortana, act in her place, and then get her ready to be shipped off. And it was Master Chief's job to ship her off to the UNSC to be deleted. This clearly did not happen, as in both trailers we learned that Master Chief was found floating in space in a bunch of debris, so clearly something went wrong and it involves the Banished. I also still have the back end of my mind that the Flood has something to do with this somehow, because there is a perfect opportunity for them to take an AI who has control over everything, and they can easily corrupt AI as shown through lore and instances such as mendicant bias. They could take everything, demilitarize any threat, and then just take over the entire galaxy. Maybe that has to come to play later, but right now, it's very clear that the Banished had something to do with this. Do they know where Cortana is? I'm not sure. They didn't give us that information. But all we know is Cortana is still somewhere out there, and her fate is still a mystery. Now onto the multiplayer, where there were a ton of armor appearances, a couple new guns, some new gadgets that might change the game in some big ways, vehicles, maps, and a lot more that I want to discuss. So let's jump into that. Off the bat, it's very noticeable about how many different Spartan appearances that you see. There's a samurai, there's some standard ones, there's a lot of cool textures, and I think if they go with a Reach customization style, that people will be very happy with what they have. It seems like they have a lot of options, and since what they showed us is probably just a really small version of what they really have, I can't wait to see the full extent of the customization menu that we get to explore. One noticeable new addition to the armor customization is the personalized AI, which in the gameplay you could hear a couple instances where the AI shouted out like an ordnance drop or something like that, but also objective play and instances involving the game, which I'm excited to see what they do, and I hope there's a lot of options so you could really get a voice you like, or just have no voice at all and be stuck in your head alone, ready to kill a bunch of enemies. A main addition to this trailer was gadgets. We had already seen the grappling hook, but they also added the personal shield, which is not exactly new, but it's been added back, as well as a little mine that you can send out that probes for enemies, and you can see them behind walls. And finally, you also had a ability where you could block someone's attack and send it back to them. My issue with each of these gadgets is how long they last. For the grappling hook, I like it so that it would be able to recharge, so you wouldn't be able to go like Spider-Man and keep spamming it, since that would be kind of overpowered and nobody would really be able to shoot you. As well as the blocking mechanism, I'd hope you'd have to recharge it, so you wouldn't just be able to block everyone constantly. Same with the portable shield, I think it should have a certain amount of health before it's destroyed, and it should have to have a cooldown to make sure that you couldn't just place it every time that it died. And finally, for the Aimbot missile, of course, you gotta put some cooldown on how much you can use that, because we don't want people just shooting behind walls knowing exactly where everyone is every second. And these are problems I think they already got, so it's not really a big deal. I just hope they made sure to keep that in mind. I'm a personal fan of the grappling hook, and if you could see from the trailer, it can actually do a lot to help your game, especially against big machines where you can grapple onto them, such as the Hornets shown in the trailer, and hijack them, which is absolutely sick. And I love that, because Hornets, Mantises, and tanks were the worst part of Halo 5's big multiplayer, because they always got annoying and were able to kill you so easily. And with the grappling hook, you can avoid them or get closer to them to possibly get a kill, and I think that really balances it out. Speaking of vehicles, the chopper returns from Halo 3 in its Banished outfit, as well as the Banished Ghost and the Banished Banshee, which all look really nice in the new red-black color scheme, but I don't see a Banished Wraith or any other vehicles from Halo Wars, but I assume they're going to be in there somewhere, because the Wraith's the main stake, and the Banished probably brought the other weapons with them. Another thing missing is the Mantis. Like, we see the Scorpion, the Warthog, the Pelican, and the Hornet all returning from Halo 5, but the Mantis is noticeably gone as well. Of course, there's going to be a Mongoose and stuff, but I think they're going to keep that too. It's just the same thing with the Wraith, that they didn't show it in that certain level. And while it was kind of annoying in the last two games, I think they can fix it and make it pretty balanced, especially with the update of the Grappler. Finally, with the multiplayer, I just want to say the maps look really well done. Some of them have some influence from other Halos, and I think that's good. Like, the maps on Halo 5, some of them are exact copies, but at least this seems to have some differences. Like, of course, there's Valhalla, which you have in Halo 4 and Halo 5 and Halo 2 and all that. But I see that they are going to a new direction, and I appreciate some new maps, but I also like them to have the returning maps as well. That was all from the update. The multiplayer is going to be free to play, and you'll probably have to buy the campaign, but I think it will bring more attention to Halo. I didn't see any instance of a battle royale, which I don't think it really needs, so it's good that it doesn't have that. Now, all we'll have to do is wait that last 6 months until Halo comes out. It may even be earlier than expected and come out around Thanksgiving, but who knows, we're just gonna have to wait to be really sure. I'm excited for the game. I don't know about you guys, but that's why we have the comment section so you can tell about your thoughts. I can't wait for it. Honestly, it's been 6 years since the last Halo game. We need some new content, and we need a game to really put Xbox back on the map, which I think Halo Infinite can do if it does its job and does it well. Halo 5 may have had its problems, but I think 343 has learned from its mistakes. It's backed by the creative director of Halo 1 and Halo 3 ODST, so they have a real good knowledge of what Halo players want because they made successful games like that. So I believe their team, combined with all their experience and the people behind it, that they'll be able to make a satisfying Halo game that we'll enjoy for a long time in the future. Hopefully I'm not wrong, but who knows? We'll just have to see what we're given. Well, guys, that's going to do it for the video. If you did enjoy, hit the like button and subscribe, of course. I'm trying to grow my channel, and Halo Infinite has really been something that helped me get a little farther in this world. But with that said, comment down below your thoughts. I hope to have some nice conversations in the thing down below, and hopefully some of my friends will buy it, and maybe you will too, because it's free to play, at least the multiplayer, and if you enjoy it that much, I think the campaign would be a good go ahead to give it a try. And also, Master Chief Collection's a really good game. They really went back and improved that. So with that in mind, I have faith. I have hope. And with that, see you guys next time.